right, good morning everybody. Joe Van Doren here and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. As you can see, I'm still in the Keys. One more day, I think today, and we leave tomorrow sometime. So at any rate, it's great to be here, and we have a beautiful word today for us to think about, focus on, and begin to practice maybe in some ways that we hadn't thought of before, and that word is dignity. And I have to say that this is also one of my most favorite flowers, and I've just slipped my mind what it's called, but nonetheless it's beautiful. So let's read the description first and then we'll go from there. So dignity is a sense of worthiness and respect. It comes from remembering who we truly are and our purpose for being. When we are mindful of our own dignity, we hold ourselves with self-esteem, respect, and simple confidence. We move and speak in a graceful manner. We avoid actions that cause us to feel ashamed. We recognize the inherent worth of each person, whether or not they see it for themselves. We treat everyone with the respect and honor all beings deserve. We refuse to violate anyone's rights. When we value each other, we honor our Creator. What a beautiful word, and I tell you, there's just so many ways that we could go with this, and I'm not even sure exactly how I'm thinking about this. You know, when I think about dignity, I think about, not having negative speech toward ourselves. You know, that whole self-talk thing that we've talked about a few times here recently, and we're mindful that that we are. That we deserve this sort of dignity, that we are, we're human, that we're individuals, that we're unique, and our way of being is unique to us, and so we don't do things and say things to ourselves that are going to hurt us. And at the same time, we also, have to think about giving dignity to others, because they have the exact same rights that we do, and we expect that we're going to be treated with respect. We expect that we should also honor others and respect them and their viewpoints, their ways of being, their ways of doing things in their own unique ways. And when we treat others with that kind of respect and with that sort of dignity and nobility, as we've spoken of before, then we really are practicing one of the most beautiful virtues that there is, and that the seeing of others for who they truly are. So, that's just a really big deal, I think. And so today I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about this and about how I feel about other people, not just how I, maybe the way I speak or whatever, but how do I feel about them? That I think would be a good way for me to concentrate and to focus on this virtue. How do I feel about this person who maybe I disagree with? How do I feel about this person because of the way that they look or the work that they do, or I don't know. There's just so many different ways that we could do that. How am I feeling about them? Not what am I saying to them or that, because if we can get ourselves to a place, and if I can get myself to a place where my feelings about the other person is that they are worthy of dignity, that we recognize their inherent value, then obviously when we feel that way, then we're going to treat them that way. So as I think about that, then I think the next step, and the thing that I'm always interested in, is about our children. And this begins with us as parents. Do we give our children the dignity that they deserve? They're unique individuals also, and they have their own skill sets, they have their own personalities, they have their own ways of being, and and it's very easy for us to go and say, oh, this is a little person and I have to control this. No, we don't control anything except ourselves. We're not responsible for anything but ourselves, and obviously we're responsible for the safety and welfare of our kids. However, we're not responsible for them as for the choices that they make. The choices they make are theirs, and so we we want to recognize and give them the dignity of their own worthiness and have respect for them. So many times, we say as a parent, we want our kids to respect us, and we have this very clear view in our mind of what that looks like. But we may not be giving our children the same sort of respect that we expect. And so, what does that look like? When we give respect, we're showing that we value the person, and and we see them as being worthy, right? And so we want to remember that our children too need to be kept from us shaming them. That we need to not to be very careful not to be guilting them, but recognize that they have those rights. And yes, there might be consequences that they don't particularly care for, but the consequences are the consequences. And if we use clarity, communication, consistency, and community, we're going to be able to help our children to, number one, be very clear about the rules and consequences of our household, what we value, and the things that we do. Number two, that we've communicated them very well, and we've communicated with them not just what the rules are, but we've given them the dignity of being helped to see how they can maintain those rules, how they can stay within the boundaries that our family has. And then, of course, it's all about being consistent too. And that's part of the practice of dignity, right? Honoring each other, doing so, being very clear about the boundaries and our expectations, and then also being consistent with consequences, rewards, and the respect that we give to each one of them. So I don't know, that's what I'm thinking about today. For me, it's going to be about focusing on those feelings that I have about others and making sure that I'm seeing them in the same light that I would say that the universe sees them, that I'm seeing them as a valued individual. So those are my thoughts today about dignity, and I hope that you too will use this day to focus on this virtue of dignity, both for yourself, for others, and especially for your children. All right, everybody, thank you very much for being here, and until next time, keep practicing all of the virtues and the 4 C's of successful families, and that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. Until next